classroom. I'm a nurse for 45 years.
Yeah.
I see some of my students here tonight. No tests, no nothing for any of you. People ask me often where the comedy comes from. I grew up between Cape Cod and Bailey Island, Maine. And don't get your water hot about Cape Cod. I was not on the part with the Kennedys. I was on the other side where you wet the bed to stay warm, Cape Cod. Everybody always says to me, oh, Cape Cod. No. We wet the bed and it was warm and wonderful. I'll tell you that. But where did the humor start? I tried to trace it back one day. It wasn't just the nursing profession. It wasn't just being a mother and a grandmother and a great-grandmother. It started with my own mother. She was the wackiest, eccentric nurse artist you ever met in your life. If DHHS was around in the 50s, our home would have been childless, I tell you that. Childless, because that woman was ruthless with the 5 of us. Absolutely ruthless. This is where it started. I'll give you a little bit of what my mentors were in life. I had 6'3" Aunt Emma with a 4-beard mustache and bright red lipstick. She was a beauty. She wore size 14 shoes. And then there was my mother. Well, Aunt Emma didn't have any kids. She graduated from college magna, had no common sense in the world, married to Uncle Earl, who was gay and never came out until later. Everybody has an Emma and an Earl. Earl eventually got to Provincetown because 2 of my gay guy friends went down to Cape and had their honeymoon at the house I inherited from Aunt Emma. So they took Uncle Earl's picture up to Provincetown for the wedding ceremony. So he finally did make it up to B-Town long after his death. So I got carted around back then, and if you were brought up in the 50s, you know that there was only one car in the family. Dad took the car, Ma and the aunties went into town. Who was the victim in the back seat? 10-year-old Betsy. My Aunt Emma, well, I had an African-American great-grandmother. And so Aunt Emma was the real Medea. She was the Tyler Perry of our family. She had the flowery moo-moo. She had the breast hanging down there. And she was the homeliest woman on Cape Cod. And she admitted to it, too. People would come far and wide to hear Aunt Emma's stories. She was just so funny. And I went to the house one day with one of my friends in high school, and I didn't prepare her for Aunt Emma. And when Aunt Emma opened the door, she knows what people are thinking. And she looked at my friend and she said, do come in, you're looking at the homeliest woman on Cape Cod. And my friend said to me, what do I say now? I said, you say absolutely nothing. She cleared the air. She was also an English teacher at the high school, and she was the town genealogist. So therefore, I spent many a day in cemeteries. But one day we're riding through Howardsport, Massachusetts, and I'm from the oldest family on the Cape and married into the second oldest. So they knew everybody in town, those two. We're riding in the great big green Buick. Aunt Emma's driving through, and she was very expressive with her face. And she looked over and she saw this gentleman walking down the road, and I'm sitting in the back seat listening to it. And she says to my mother, oh, look, there's Malcolm. Oh, look, he's had a child. And I'm thinking, well, this ain't going to be good. So my mother looks over and she says, oh, dear, he's had a child. And my aunt props up at the steering wheel and she looks over and she says, whatever possessed that man to think he was supposed to reproduce himself? So mother looks over, of course she was an operating room nurse, so she was right into the gory part of nursing. She looks over at my auntie and she says, don't worry about it, Em. Looks like they kept the placenta and threw away the baby under it. So I'm in the back seat, 10 years old. I don't know what a placenta is. I gotta get home and ask Brother Tommy. He's 10 years older than me. He knew everything. So I ran up the stairs and I said, Tommy, what's a placenta? Where'd you hear that? I've been out with Auntie Emma and Mom today. He says, well, it's kind of one of those things that's inside of a woman that feeds the baby. It's kind of bloody and messy and terrible, but it feeds the baby. I'm 10. I'm picturing a baby mowing on a big thing of blood inside of a person. So Mother was the most spiritual woman you'd ever want to meet in your life. 12 years at Sunday school at the East Howard Methodist Church. She was my Sunday school teacher. I could not get rid of that woman. Could not get rid of her. But she worked in the operating room, and when you worked in the operating room, You learn to swear. That's how they vented their stress and so forth. So she's swearing at the minister one day down at the church. And I looked at her. I was probably 10. My brother Craig, 6'9" Craigie, who was a clone of Robert on Everybody Loves Raymond. He's standing there. And the minister says, Helen, you are my only honest and true parishioner. He said, when you come in here, you don't change. I know what everybody else is doing 5 days a week, and they come in here and act all perfect, but you do not. She says, you're goddamn right I don't. So we're standing there knowing, but this is now the late 50s, early 60s. You can't question your parent back then. My God, you'd be killed. Now, well, they call the DHHS. If you tell them they got to come in at 11, I'm out of here. So we're standing there, and my brother, stupid Craig, he's not going to say anything to her, but he starts singing Onward Christian Soldiers to her. She turns around and she says to the minister, excuse me for a minute. You go get in that goddamn car before I kill you. So we get out in the big Buick of Aunt Emma's. We found out later Mother never had a license to drive, ever. 5 kids, drove everybody all over hell and back. I'm once again in the back seat, Craigie's in the front. He says, Ma, you cannot be swearing down at the church. I thought, oh my God, you're going to drive us into the pine tree. He says, you can't be doing that, Ma. You're a lay reader, you're a Sunday school teacher, you're in the women's group, you're a member of this church. You can't be doing that. Fine, she says, and sat bolt upright. She says, from now on, at church I will try to remain with Jesus Christ. When we are home, however, it will continue to be Jesus H. Christ, you goddamn kids. So we get home. On the way, she says, and if you don't like the way I'm treating you, take it to your shrink when you're 21. We don't know what a shrink is. She says, in the meantime, I'm running this place. So we get home and I run up to Tommy's room to find out what a shrink is. Then I get upstairs. I said, Tommy, what's a shrink? Have you been with Auntie Emma and Mother again today? Yes, indeed, I have. In the 60s, along came marijuana. They're going to have a big talk with us, Mom and Dad, because the parents are supposed to communicate with you then. It was a big time of communication. Mother and Dad sat all 4 of us down. Mother's sitting there. She says, you know, I heard about this stuff called marijuana at the school, and if you get caught with it, you have to go to jail for 6 months and repeat the class. She says, I want you to know that I never even ate a candy bar when I was pregnant with you because I didn't want you to alter one cell. So if you think you're going to try this crap, she said, you go ahead and you try it and let me find out because I'll drive your sorry ass to the Cape Cod Canal and dump you over. She said, there will be no slow suicides in this family. She said, you want to get high, you come right to this house, and I will make you laugh so goddamn hard you'll piss your pants every night. So Daddy leans in, he thinks he's all cool, man. He's read something in the paper. He says, you know, if you hear the word Mary Jane down at the school, that's a code word for marijuana. Pay attention! We said, okay. He says, you get caught by the cops, and they give you a dime to call home. Don't you dare call me. I will never come and get you. You can rot and die in that jail. All the years went by. We all got married. Boys went to Vietnam, college. We're all back home for Thanksgiving. I said to the brothers, which one of you tried marijuana after those great lectures we had? Not one of us. I said, what stopped you, Ma? Just coming home. They said, what stopped you? I said, Dad. I said, Daddy. He was about 65 at the time. I said, Daddy, did you mean that you would not come down to that jail and pick us up? He says, it worked, didn't it? So life goes on, and I'm a nurse, and I've been in all the branches of nursing, but teaching is the most fun because I want you people to stay healthy. If you knew what was coming into healthcare right now to take care of you, you'd be on an all-natural diet real quick. We got a few good ones out there, like where's my St. Mary's crowd? Yay! Don't deliver your babies. Once you got a uterus, you can go see them. So life goes on, and I get a little girl in my class, and I'm thinking, it's up to Lewiston, I'm thinking to myself, she must be having a baby at St. Mary's, I'll find out. So I said, oh, first baby, when are you due? Today. I said, well, I've only delivered 2 in a parking lot and switchboard at Bath Memorial Hospital. So my daughter's over at St. Mary's if you need her. I said, pretty exciting, first baby? Well, it would be if we could find the father. So I played dumb. I said, oh, is he among the missing? She said, no, it's one of 6 candidates. 35 years ago at Cape Cod Tech, I would have sat you down and talked about your morals and your values and your ethics. Time's gone on, you can't save these people, you just bless their heart and let them go. You can't. All you people younger than 35 years old, right around the cutoff times, 35 years old, you had nothing you're going to do with these people. You just do what your grandmother did. And then you bless their hearts, because there's absolutely nothing you're going to do. Now, I've added a line on to my grandmothers. They come into my class, and my living God, I can't even tell you, I'm going to finish that story about that little girl in a second. They come into my classroom, they get all finished, and it's stupid. And they're headed out the door, and they're giving a finger to somebody, and you slept with my boyfriend, and I ain't staying here, and hoe bag this, and hoe this. And they're going out the door, and they turn around, and I say to them, who raised you? Are you dissing on my mother? Yes, indeed, I'm dissing on your mother. Somewhere along the line, one of you missed the chapter on manners. You go home, regroup, don't come back here. So the little girl looks up at me and I said, honey, do you know you only ovulate for 48 hours? 6 men is a lot of men in 48 hours. She says to me, yep it is. I said, did you love any of them? Were you in a romantic relationship? No, that's back in the day. She said, you hook up, you move on. So I'd be arrested for my thoughts, because I wanted to call her a little hoe, but I couldn't do it. I said, look at my face, you're looking at a dinosaur. I met my husband when I was in high school. End of discussion. That's it. So the other day, I have a student in the classroom, she says to me, oh, Betsy, I'm so glad you're alive. I had brain tumor, and I had abdominal surgery and all the crap in the world. It made me a patient. Let me tell you how lovely that was. People say the damnedest things when you have cancer. You're feeling pretty good, you're having a good day one day, and you see this face. How you doing, Beth? Well, I was doing pretty damn good till you got my face. Or they say, my aunt had cancer in 1962 in the right big toe. You're going to be fine. She's still kicking. So a little girl comes in my classroom. She says, oh, my God, I'm so sad. I'm so sad. She says, I heard you died a year ago. And I said, well, unless this is heaven, I'm still here. She said, no, I've been so sad about it. What are we going to do without Betsy in the classroom? And I said, you couldn't have been that goddamn devastated, because I remember my husband and kids getting a sympathy card a year ago. I got to go. I'll leave you with one last joke, because I have a whole lot more material, but can't get. Here's a joke I'm going to leave you with. 2 elder ladies get admitted to assisted living. They're 82 years old. They're standing out smoking cigarette. One's got a condom on her cigarette. So the other one says, what's that thing? It pouring rain out there. They had no coverage. What's that thing you got there? So it's called a condom. She says, when it's raining, you buy a condom and you cut the end off and you put it over your cigarette and then it protects it. She says, where do I get such a thing? She says, go down to CVS. You'll either be over the counter or they'll be up there. Asked a pharmacist. Well, she went down. There was nothing over the counter. She goes to the pharmacy, and she says to the pharmacist, do you have such thing as called a condom? His pharmacist says, yeah. He says, but what size you want? They come small, medium, large, extra large. Oh, dear. She says, I did not know. They came in sizes. Well, whatever you think will fit over a camel.